Hello everyone and welcome to week 9 of the CCL. This is going to be against Joe. This is a big game. The playoffs actually recently changed just before this game got played, and it is no longer number 1 and number 2 in the division. The division, remember, is 4 people. It's actually going to be number 1 seed gets a bye, and number 2 and number 3 play in a wild card game. The winner of that wild card game faces off against the number 1 seed in the division for the division championships, and then of course the winner of the division moves on to face the other division's champion in the grand finals. So winning against Joe here would actually secure me number 1 seed, which means I would not have to mess around in a wild card game. I could go straight to the semifinals. This is actually going to be a tale of what happens when you don't prepare. So this is actually, this is an interesting game. Looking at his team, threats are just Mamoswine, really. I mean, he has stuff, but none of it's too threatening, and in all honesty, I made some mistakes in team building. One of them was Scarf Chomp. For some reason, Garchomp with a Scarf has not been good since, like, mid of Gen 5. Like, it's just such a bad set on such a versatile Pokemon. Locking yourself into one move without increasing your power, bad. In fact, on Garchomp, just locking yourself into one move is bad. So, unless it's Outrage at +2. But, I digress. In general, just some team building quirks happened, and I just didn't prepare as well as I should have. Either way, let's get into this battle. It should be fantastic. So I'm gonna lead off Manectric just because I realized I want it Mega real quick. I'm gonna be able to Mega. Look at that new Mega you know what I was trying to say, guys. The new Mega Evolution animation on Pokemon Showdown is incredible. Anyway, I'm gonna Magnet Rise. He's gonna predict that actually, and he's going to go for a nice little crash. I get a nice quick burn though on his switch into Thing with a flamethrower, and then I crit him. You know Joe, you know Swaggliff, he wasn't too happy when that happened. He said, "Oh fuck, if you're just gonna play like this, I might as well just forfeit." I'm like, you know what? I would actually appreciate that quite a lot. I have Encore on Clefable. For some reason, I go for Encore here instead of pressuring him with a Moonblast. There's like mistake number 1. I'm just looking back at this game now. I ran Encore specifically because of his Suicune. I was quite scared of it. Anyway, I'm gonna go to Garchomp on the U-turn from Jirachi. I assume he would Scarf Jirachi, so I want that rough skin damage. Anyway, he's gonna go for an Ice Beam, then followed up with a Surf, and I kind of giggled at the Surf because I realized he was just not gonna go for the Scald Burn. And I got a crit attack drop, and I believe that is the point where Joe literally mentioned that he was gonna forfeit if I don't stop. Which, looking back at this game, would have been quite nice if I continued to hax him. Like I went for a flamethrower here if I got the burn. In fact, it might have been that turn. I'm not even quite sure. Anyway, as you can see, the Mamoswine is gonna crit me with the Ethical Crash. A little bit disappointing, but I mean, he does Ice Shard anyway. It's still alive, and he revealed his set to me afterwards. Max attack, max HP, Assault Vest. No wonder it's taking the hit so well. It's actually really threatening for my team just because I don't really have anything that can break through it, part Keldeo, and Keldeo doesn't want to switch into a max attack Earthquake. In comes Latios. I mean, like, it's just a big stop to my Keldeo. If I can get Latios out of the way, something dies every time I click Scald. Suicune can obviously live a couple, but it's not going to enjoy a Specs Scald. I'm actually bringing Specs Keldeo to this game. He's going to go for Future Sight with his Jirachi, and then it's going to fire off a Scald. As you can see, it just doesn't enjoy taking it. Unfortunately, my Keldeo doesn't really enjoy taking Psyshocks. I don't know why I stayed in to do that one, but, I mean, regardless. I'm going to go to Latios here, because Future Sight's incoming on this turn. He makes a nice play going for U-turn to punish it. Luckily, Future Sight does about 17, so I'm going to go for Psyshock here on this Suicune as he reveals Tailwind. Followed it up with an Ice Beam. I was actually Yachi Berry Latios in this game, specifically so that I could take on his Mamoswine a little bit better. I believe I also have Surf. I have Draco, Surf, Psyshock, and Roost, though I might have Healing, which I don't quite remember this. He's going to go to his Lottie as I end up going for Surf, and as you can see, his Tailwind runs out this turn. He's burned. If I clicked Draco Meteor, his Latios would be dead. I didn't want to risk the speed tie, and again, looking back, terrible play, because I allowed him to keep his Latios alive, and removing his Latios is going to be huge for me in this game. Another silly thing is, because I brought Healing Wish on Lottie instead of, or 3 attack Roost, one of the two, I don't have Defog, and I did not bring Stealth Rock, which is just asking to lose. If you have a team in an OU format, you don't have Hazard Removal, and your opponent has hazards, and you don't even have hazards yourself, like, you're literally begging to lose. Anyway, he reveals to be a Resto Chesto thing. I'm just going to go for a Moonblast. I end up getting a crit on his Scarm. And as you can see, it's just not going well for me. He has Rocks up. I can't establish any offensive pressure. If I Draco'd his Lottie on that turn, little did I know back at the time of this battle, but he's actually HP Fire on his Lottie, which means if I went for Draco as he recovered there, I would have 100% killed him as long as I didn't miss. So on turns like this, where Keldeo comes in, it does a shit ton to his Suicune, and Suicune can't really touch Keldeo, can it? No. So, like, it would have worked out really nicely for me. On this turn, like, Scald will kill him, but he's faster, obviously, and can just recover. it's just disappointing. So Keldeo, you know, you're doing your part. You're trying your hardest to break through this Latios. Unfortunately, special defensive Mega Latios is kind of hard to break through with a Keldeo lock and a Scald. I'm gonna make a nice play here, going into Clefable and doubling back to Keldeo predicting. And this is where, like, the whole ground crumbles around me. If the first 5 or 6 turns, Joe is complaining about hacks and how, oh, just stop hacking me. There's 2 types of hacks. There's hacks like that, which looks really bad but doesn't affect shit. I mean, if you look at his team, it's still all full. Like, nothing that got quote-unquote hacks there is really in any peril. And then there's hacks like that, which just changes the sails of the game. Any wind I had building in my sails there, predicting his Lottie to come in, clicking Icy Wind, would have killed, by the way. It's just completely gone, and if his Lottie died there, Keldeo would have at least gotten 2 more kills. Mind you, it wouldn't have won me the game, at least not at this point in the battle. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me, and Keldeo, like, it would have gotten kills. It obviously could have been revenged by Thunderous all the times, but it was just disappointing. And I'm going to get Keldeo in on the last turn in before Spikes and fire off a Scald, hoping to burn. Unfortunately, I do not burn, and Keldeo is going to get whirlwinded, whisked away into a land of cannot hurt anything for the rest of the game. I have Superior here, and it's going to go for HP Fire. I was actually kind of impressed with how much damage Superior could have done late game, looking at his team, especially because it can live a hit from full, from Mamoswine Ice Shard wise, and I had Cheery Berry, so his Thunderous couldn't come in and just paralyze me. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out because my Garchomp is scarfed and just everything. I was not going to win that battle. Keldeo died upon re-entry. Clefable died to an Earthquake, and Scarfed thing died to an Ice Shard. So Mamo able to clean me up. It's actually kind of interesting. Joe's Mamo in this season has 5 kills, and 4 of them are against me, and 1 of them was, I believe, an Ice Shard on something at like 3%. So Team Mamo, just Mamo, stop being so scary. Anyway, really disappointing. Like I said, if Keldeo had hit that Icy Wind, it wouldn't have been a 6-0. I mean, it still would have been a win for Joe, which clinches him #1 in the division and forces me into the wild card. But a 6-0 is just rather embarrassing, obviously. Anyway, that is going to be it. Week 10 is going to be next. It is against Roger. The game itself is actually meaningless, but it was still an interesting game, so I hope you check it out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to check out the other weeks, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!